Hi, welcome to another YouTube video. In this video, we're talking about how you get from this forest into cut timber that you can use to build a house with. And this is something called the Russian Federal Law number 30. And this is for citizens of Russia only, where it allows you to harvest timber for your own purposes, in this case building a house. This is only for citizens of the Russian Federation, but if your partner happens to be a Russian citizen, then that partner can get you that free timber. There is no other countries that I know of that allow the citizens free timber for their own purposes, i.e. building a house, and you can also use some of it for heating a house if you're on wood heating. So in this video, this is exactly what I'm going to explain to you today: how to get a hold of it, the procedure for getting a hold of it, and is it cost effective if you're going to do it. So let's proceed in the video.
Статья 30 Лесного кодекса РФ. Заготовка гражданами древесины для собственных нужд. Первое. Граждане вправе заготавливать древесину для целей отопления, возведения строений и иных собственных нужд.
Article 30 of the Russian Federation says this: procurement of timber by citizens for their own needs. Citizens have the right to procure timber for heating purposes, construction of buildings and other personal needs. And now we're going to go through how you can actually get this timber.
There's obviously a lot more to this law than what we've read here, but for our purposes all we need to know is that we can get it and how we can get it. The way we can get it is this. First of all, there are certain requirements. You need to be registered in the area that you're going to get the timber. So if you're in St. Petersburg, you need to be in St. Petersburg, and there may be districts within St. Petersburg that you have to be registered before you can get it. Secondly, you have to have a plot of land, an uchastik that belongs to you, it's in your name.
The other thing is the law says that you are not allowed to sell or give away or transfer the timber to anybody else. So the amount of timber allocated per citizen is 150 cubic meters of round timber, the stuff that's just been cut. Now 150 cubic meters is a heck of a lot. For the average house, you're using plus or minus about 40 cubic meters. So if you're going to get it cut yourself, whatever, then you advise to take only the amount that you need. Don't take the 150 cubic meters and then have it laying on your land and not being able to do anything with it, because you're going to get yourself into fines and all kinds of things if they catch you selling it. So for my purpose, I only took 50 cubic meters. My house takes 38, plus or minus. Once you've cut it, you'll lose a bit. There's about 20% in cutting. Each district where you go to get timber may have slightly different requirements in the documentation that they need. In my particular case, what I needed to be registered in the area that I was building the house. I needed to have the uchastik or the land registered to me in that area. I also needed to have permission to build, or решение строительства is the document you need. And with those documents, the registration, your registration, and the permission to build, with that you can then apply for the timber. What happens is you go down to the MFC and the multifunctional centre, and then they take the details and whatever. Then they give you a number of somebody who works in the Forestry Department, and they tell you where to go. They will then contact you, or you contact them, and then they take you for a little walk in the forest and show you the timber that's been allocated to you, where it is. Now that could be anywhere. I can't say where it could be for you. Mine was 60 kilometres from the area where I'm building, which is not too far, but it's far enough when you're transporting it. Once you've done that and you go with the forestry worker, and he shows you the timber, the trees, and then you agree or not on whether you're going to take the timber. And if you take the timber, then you have to go back to there and fill in some more documents. It's all very simple, and then once you've done all that and you pay a fee, I think it's 7,000 rubles, You then allocated, you get a confirmation you allocated the timber, and then you can proceed with the next part, which is cutting the timber. Now, how you do that, the cheapest way is to cut it yourself. Now, for me, it was 60 kilometres away, and then another 5 kilometres on foot. There's no way you could get a vehicle up there other than specialist forestry vehicles. So for me, it's impossible to cut it myself. So I had to hire somebody to come in and cut. There's people in the forestry work, these places all the time. So I hired somebody to come in, cut the timber. And the other thing you have to do is clear the land. So you can't leave big stumps everywhere. That all has to be cleared away. Once that's done, and that's cleared away, and you've paid for that, then you can get the timber transported to a timber mill where it can be processed. And a timber mill, obviously, you're paying for transport from the site. You're paying for the cutting, then the transport from the site to the timber mill. Once it's in the timber mill, then you're paying for it to be cut. You're paying workers to cut the timber into the sizes that you want. That's not very expensive. Once that's done, then you're again paying yet again for it to be transported from the timber mill to your land, where you will then dry it and what have you. In total costs, it costs around about, once you've done everything, it can be cost somewhere between 5,000 and 8,000 rubles per cubic meters. At the current price today, which is the 27th of April, the current price at the moment is around about 20,000 rubles per cubic meter of timber. So you're going to make a saving of about 15,000 rubles per cubic meter, which is an immense saving. A question on how long does it take? This depends on your region where you're getting it. I heard that in Moscow and surrounding region it can take up to 18 months to get allocated timber. In Novgorod, where I got mine, it took me approximately 3 days. So it's impossible to tell you how long the whole procedure takes. Once you've got onto land, then you've got to obviously deal with it, dry it, and we'll cover that in the next video, where I'll show you when my timber arrives, how I dry it and store it. But that's basically how you get it, and like I said, every citizen is entitled to this. There's no reason why you shouldn't get it, and there is no other country in the world that I know of that gives its citizens free timber. So Russia is a fantastic place, and there's lots of opportunities. You just have to know where to find them, and this is one that I particularly know about. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I've showed you something and told you something that can be of use to you. If you did like it, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment if you like, or come and talk to us on our Telegram channel, which is Russia Expat Info. We'll see you there. We're always glad to see people and answer your questions.